On Juneteenth, we commemorate the day news of the emancipation reached enslaved Black people in Galveston, Texas, 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. These people now finally free. The city of Yonkers has dedicated a sculpture garden created by Yonkers native Vinnie Bagwell. The garden is to honor enslaved people who worked and lived in Westchester County. CBS 2's Tony Aiello was at the dedication of the Enslaved Africans' Rain Garden.
They stand on land where the people they represent once were bound in slavery. 4 statues telling the stories of 5 Africans taken from their home and enslaved on the Phillips estate in Yonkers. It was 13 years from conception to ribbon cutting. In 2020, we visited with sculptor Vinnie Bagwell as she prepared the model of Bibi the Elder.
I want people to understand that they had lives, they had thoughts, they had feelings, they had goals, they had dreams, and all of that was stolen from them.
Bagwell fills her work with rich detail, humanizing those who suffered such inhumanity before slavery was abolished in New York 193 years ago. She wants the garden to be a place to remember a painful past and inspire a better future.
Think about how far we've come as a country and how much further we have to go to erase racism and discrimination from our society.
Times do change. 4 Black women now form the majority on Yonkers City Council. Looking at this chapter in Yonkers history evoked strong emotions in the council president.
I became overwhelmed because I felt the presence of my ancestors. I was reminded of their determination, their perseverance, and their courage.
The garden rewards repeated visits with so much detail on the figures.
Each and every time, Vinnie, I've looked at these sculptures, I've seen something a little different. I learned something a little more.
It is a place to pause, reflect, and remember a chapter of history that must not be forgotten. In Yonkers, Tony Aiello, CBS 2 News.
And sculptor Vinnie Bagwell joins me now. So nice to see you again.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, and congratulations on this public art project, your vision, your creation. You are about public art. Now that it's done, how do you feel?
I am fulfilled. It has been a long journey. It's kind of like being a parent, you know, you constantly have to be vigilant, constantly have to be anticipating, you know, constantly taking care and pushing. And so I feel like an empty nester.
Oh no, they're gone. I understand that metaphor, right? Because it has been years. The timing of Juneteenth and the dedication has to be extra special, poignant, and so important.
Yes, it's timely. You know, with public art, timeliness does make a significant difference. Mm-hmm. And so I'm happy that we were able to do it at this time because this is our first real year of celebrating Juneteenth. And it's a great way for Yonkers to kick off.
Can you tell us, let's take closer looks at these sculptures and just tell us, because each a person, each with a story. Let us start with Temba.
Temba the boatman is an unusual character because the boatmen were the most prized enslaved Africans. They weren't even treated like enslaved because these are the people who knew how to navigate the sea. And they were very valuable. And so I thought it was important to tell his story. And then also to the dichotomy of being enslaved. Like maybe by day, your job is to drive the boat, but maybe by night, you're helping people escape. And so that's his story.
Isati.
Yeah. Again, something iconic. Most people know that African women have an extraordinary ability to carry heavy things on their heads. So that was important. And this is a waterfront town. So her job is to take care of the fish and fresh water. On her back, there's a schematic for how they packed people on the slave ships. Underneath that, it states Madagascar, Angola, South Africa, because that's where they came from. And there is a man drowning in the sea in her skirt because I wanted to make a bow to the Middle Passage. And I learned that most of the enslaved Africans that were brought here in the late 1600s were very young people, talking about under 20 years old. So they are, again, a nod to the children. They're not necessarily related. They're having the same experience at the same time, and they're not happy. And so, they have memories of their home. If you've got kids and you ever take them away from home, they want to know, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And then ultimately, it's like, when are we going home? And these children didn't get to go home.
And reparations, this is, we hear all the conversations about money, but this is a type of reparation too, what you've done.
It is. It is. Reparations is about making amends for a wrong that was done. It's oftentimes it's done with money, and oftentimes it's done with deeds. In this instance, public art is funded by money, and it's a good deed. So in this instance, because there are so few monuments in the United States about enslaved Africans as just people. We have the icons, Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, but what about the other millions of people being represented through public art? So that is the biggest advantage of this public art. We're trying to tell the story of the masses.
Vinnie, and we know a couple days there was vandalism found on your work. Yeah. How do you deal with that? How do you process that?
The first thing is you think, already? Jesus, just put them in. The next thing is to meet that challenge directly. We said to the city of Yonkers, this is not a demerit for you. This is someone who is ignorant, that doesn't understand the value of this story, this public art installation. And what that does is challenge us to really spend more time educating our community and the community in general about the importance of this being here and being respected.
Vinnie, last time we spoke, more than a couple of years ago now that I think about it, we were talking about a new project, a sculpture for Central Park that you were all ready to work on. Tell us about that, and what's the status?
Victory is the angel that takes you from this life and delivers you back to the afterlife. And so this is a Black angel, but the point of it is that you so seldom see Black people represented as angels in public art. I challenge people, if you see another one, let me know. It's been 31 months. We are still negotiating a contract. The city of New York removed $275,000 from the budget. Then, of course, the people had to protest that to put the money back. I reached out to Mayor Eric Adams on Friday because I was trying to be patient, and he was kind enough to get right back to me. So we're trying to schedule a meeting to come to the table to talk about the differences and iron it out and move forward, because this is such a timely time for Victory because of the challenges that women are going through with our reproductive rights. We just feel that because the city of New York, is the repository for the largest collection of public art, it's important for us to make a statement at this time. So we're going to work it out.
Vinnie Bagwell, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Her work, The Enslaved Africans' Rain Garden, is located on the Hudson River waterfront in Yonkers at 20 Water Grant Street. That's just her latest sculpture. If you'd like more information about the project and artist Vinnie Bagwell, go to our website, cbsnewyork.com.